Hey everybody, it's meteorologist Amy Freeze. I'm in the AccuWeather Center. We've got a few minutes till the broadcast. Just want to kind of give you a behind the scenes of what we're looking at this afternoon with the heat, the extreme humidity. It's very uncomfortable, and then also the storms that could happen. So first, I just want to show you we do have a storm on the map right now. It's about 3:40, and this particular storm right here, which is along 95, does have a lot of lightning in it. So I'm just going to bring it down here so we can get a close-up look at it. These are the kind of thunderstorms that are going to pop up. So this is from Rye to Stamford, and it's probably dumping a lot of rain, but the lightning is the main concern here with some of these storms. They're quick movers, but the lightning can be very dangerous. So if you hear the thunder, take cover. That's the number one thing for this afternoon. Of course, we've been involved in the heat. It doesn't feel good at all. And the National Weather Service has been warning people. In fact, they have a couple different warnings up, and you may have heard this earlier in the newscast or in the news conference with the mayor, but the excessive heat warning goes until 10 p.m. And this has now been expanded for the larger area, meaning the entire tri-state really, all the way up into the mid-Hudson Valley. We're leaving out right now Sullivan and Ulster, but for the most part, this is all of our area. Now, remember that the Fork and parts of eastern Suffolk County, that's much cooler because it has the ocean influence. So right now, the ocean temperatures are still in the 70s. But everybody else, just know that you're not alone in this heat. There's about 120 million Americans that are under this big, large heat dome. And so we have it as well. What makes it extremely uncomfortable is not just the daytime high temperatures, but at night we really don't cool off. And so that's what it is. We expect it to be hot and humid in New York in the summer, but the consecutive days can really take their toll on your body because you're working so hard to keep it cool. So the heat indexes, or the feels like temperatures, that's the thing that really lets us know that it's going to be uncomfortable and perhaps even dangerous for people who are sensitive to the heat. So feeling like 105 to 110, that's what's happening right now this afternoon, and we're actually going to see that continuing through tomorrow. So here we are on Facebook Live. You guys can ask me any questions. We'll sort of see what's happening. I want to check the numbers too across the air and what's happening at this hour so you can kind of get a vibe of what the temperatures are doing. We have in New York City 93 degrees. Tom's River has been the warmest the last couple of days, 96 for them. 90s pretty much across the board. Now, as the clouds come and go from time to time during the afternoon, you can maybe get a cool spot or cool down in some areas. These are our automated temperature reporting stations. So the official highs right now are coming in, and Tom's River was at 98 degrees. But even out onto Long Island in Montauk, we've got 85 degrees plus a feels like temperature that's more in the low 90s. And if you've been out there, that can be very, very uncomfortable. All right, so the heat index, how hot is it going to get tomorrow? Even hotter than today, I know. We don't really want to hear it, but this is what I was explaining to you. When you have the hot temperatures at night, the heat index, or the feels like, can still be in the 90s. What in the world is feels like versus the real temperature? Well, on the thermometer, it might read 93 degrees. But when you have high humidities, we give an increase in what that temperature feels like because it's so difficult to cool your body down. So we normally just sweat, and that sweat evaporates and it cools our skin down. But that doesn't happen when there's humidity. It's very difficult to get that cooling to occur, and so that's the problem. We're right back at 9 a.m. into the mid-90s, and then, of course, the hottest part of the day is going to be between noon and 3 p.m., 4 p.m., all the way taking us down to 6 and 7 o'clock. I mean, the highest we're going to see for a feels like temperature is right here. Tom's River, Belmar, really 109 degrees. In the city, 108. Look, that's nothing to be shy about, but extremely hot. What about the shore locations? Let's talk about those pretty briefly. Over the weekend, things pretty much stay the same. If we go into the future cast, these spotty showers in the afternoon are still going to be happening. Okay? Tomorrow afternoon, it looks like they're late. I'm going to be showing this on the newscast coming up at 4 o'clock, so this will give you like a pinpoint of the timing tomorrow. I think the heat's the main thing tomorrow. Storms are few and far between. Then we go into Sunday, we've got more heat, still high humidity, and then the storms come in the afternoon, and those may be a little more widespread. So if you're heading down the shore, you're doing something to sort of get away from the heat, the Catskills might be a good choice because their temperatures are a little cooler north and west. So they've got upper 80s and low 90s. The humidity is not as bad. There's storms possible there each day. But Jersey Shore and Hamptons, you're definitely going to want to be in the water. And if you're in the water, you check with the lifeguard. Make sure you're away from the rip currents. Now, for the newscast this afternoon, a couple things we're working on is this unusual to have this type of weather? Number one, this is our third heat wave of the season. What makes this one different? More humidity, more uncomfortable, and it is for a long duration. Last time we had that big stretch of 90s, we had lower humidity, so it was a little bit easier to take, right? And then we also heard from the mayor today, third, we haven't seen this type of heat in like 3 years. That's true. We looked up the numbers, confirmed it. You got the numbers from the National Weather Service. So, getting a heat wave that's this intense hasn't happened in a couple of years. So as New Yorkers, we like to brush it off and say, look, we've got this under control. We know heat and humidity, but still do the typical things that are important to do. Check on your neighbors, watch out for pets, even small children. You think the kids are out having a good time and they're running around, their bodies can get overheated. They need to be hydrated, all those kinds of things. So it's common sense, we all know, but sometimes we think we are not vulnerable to it. And I would just suggest that we are. The other reason why is this happening and when's going to quit?
That's what
right?
we're getting a lot of questions. How long is it going to last?
Yes, that's Sarah behind the camera, by the way. How long is this going to last is what you guys want to know. And what the pattern is this big dome of high pressure. And it's kind of like a bubble in the atmosphere. And under this bubble, the heat, the humidity come up from the south. And while that bubble is in place, it's very difficult to move it out of the way and replace it with a new air mass. So it's the physics of the atmosphere that will replace that big, large, high-pressure system, this big dome of hot air, and slide it off to the east and let us replace it with some different kind of weather. And that has to do with the jet stream, like I said, physics, and moving around these large air masses. It looks like we get a nice break next week. So we put together the AccuWeather 7-day forecast this afternoon. I'll be making a few little tweaks here before the 4 o'clock news when we show this, but you'll get an idea here of what we're looking at. I think probably by Tuesday we're feeling it. Sorry, it took me a minute to load the graphic. Here it is for you. All right, so by Monday we're back down to 89, and that's a relief, right, with temperatures, but still muggy and humid. By Tuesday there's some humidity in the morning, but these storms right here might break some of that humidity, and Wednesday and Thursday we'll start to feel relief. Not completely dry air, but less humid and, a handful of temperatures cooler. And it's going to be a lot easier for people to take. So we're still in summer. We all know that it can be hot and humid right through September. We probably have not seen the last of the 90s. Once we get past this stretch, we're still going to have 90s into September. Sometimes we'll get 1 or 2 sneaking in early October.
So this may not be the last heat wave
This
we're
may
looking
not
at.
be the last heat wave. Now, a reminder that heat wave is 3 consecutive days of 90 degrees or hotter. As we get later in the season, it's difficult to get those consecutive days, but we might have a couple real zingers right before the end. By the way, the hottest temperature ever recorded in New York City is actually a July temperature. But that's just a one-time record occurrence.
Do you remember what it was?
106 degrees, I believe.
That wasn't
106,
feel.
107. That wasn't real feel. That was actually on the thermometer, early July temperature. So in August, we actually have more consecutive hot days. So that's why people think of August as the hottest temperatures of the year. So while it may not be record-setting, it definitely is this consistent heat pattern that's tough to take. What else can I tell you? Any other questions that people have?
I'm a little uncomfortable with the amount of comments we're getting of people saying they wish it was winter and they want snow. So
okay, now that's disturbing.
That's disturbing.
Okay, this
It's
is
summer.
the same crowd, I think, that's going to turn around in winter and be like, bring the summer back. But I would actually like to say a couple things on that. I mean, it'll be 5 months and we've got snow on the ground, okay, people? But this is interesting and a little bit of science info for you. Right now, the temperatures, these July, August temperatures that have come down from the extreme north, and we're talking Siberia type temperatures, these temperatures are extremely cold for this time of year. Now, if that type of cold air is building up in Siberia, way, way, way north, like, all right, we're talking half a globe away, that kind of air tends to determine what we'll see in the coming seasons. So that could be an indicator for us that several months away, we are dealing with extreme cold. And sometimes these are some of the major tools that we use to forecast season to season. So know that the cold air is building up and it will be headed in our direction in no time at all, and perhaps an indication that we will have an extremely cold winter. Nothing's for sure, but these are the pieces of science we like to pull together. And a final word, just about weather patterns is the ocean controls so much of what happens for us. And we live in such close proximity to the ocean that it tends to vary our weather dramatically. And so we get these extremes like we're experiencing right now here in the summertime, and it also happens in the winter as well. I love it when you guys reach out to us on social media. Thank you so much yesterday for all of the amazing rainbow pictures that you sent in, and also the little clips of video what's happening in your backyard when a rainstorm comes through, because we use really fancy tools. We use the AccuTrack, the radars. We can look at all kinds of storm analysis pictures. We can even look at future casting. But that is science, and we need two pieces really to be good forecasters. We need the science, and we need what's called ground truth, what's actually happening outside. And when we combine those two pieces of information, we can tell the best weather story. We can let people know, give them a heads up what's coming in their direction. And something as simple as seeing the rainbow, knowing that the rain's going to end soon for folks, or seeing how it really inundated your backyard and made the water pool up and was rushing down your driveway, can give people the heads up to go ahead and take care of some of the things around their own property, and it can save their situation. So we love that kind of stuff, and it does mean a lot to us. So thank you for doing that. Always include where it happened, when it happened, if you can, and sometimes we even put it up on TV or put it up on the website and share it with people. So thank you for all of that. We're on every social media thing. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we are on Snapchat. I'm liking the Snapchat. Look, Insta stories. Come on now. I got to get used to that. Give me a little bit of time. That's just started, but I think it's a lot like Snapchat. But why can't we just cancel Snapchat and go to Insta Stories? Because Snapchat's for the young kids and Insta Stories for the olders? What? Are there rules? I don't know. But the thing is that
we're there.
Yeah, you're all of those places, so you can check us out there. Jeff Smith just had his a new expansion in his family. His wife had a baby, so congratulations to him. Bill is working in the mornings, and Lee is actually off on a fancy trip with his family, so he'll be back in a week or so. And until then, I'll be on the afternoons, and Jeff and I will split duties. I think he's coming back next week, and he's probably going to share some pictures. So the baby's really cute. I think that's it. Anything else anybody's asking?
Yeah,
It's
no,
interesting?
just for anyone who wants to know, we do have tips for staying cool and safety tips and that kind of
Right.
stuff on our website, ABC7NY. So be sure to check that out, and everyone just needs to stay cool out there, and we'll get through this heat wave.
That's right. I think I'm going outside for the top of the floor, so I got to change my shoes. I still have my sneakers on. Still got my sneakers going. And this is the worst kind of weather for hair, as we all know. And I was thinking I could get away with a ponytail today.
It's a ponytail day.
It
I think
so
it's
is.
definitely a
Do you think I'll
ponytail
get
day.
called in upstairs and they'll say, "What's going on with your hair?" No, I could say, "It's the weather."
Exactly.
Exactly. All right. Have a great afternoon. We hope that
Thanks,
you'll join us.
Amy.
We've got a lot of amazing stories coming up this afternoon on the news, besides just talking about the weather. So we hope you'll be with us. And as always, getting your feedback and interaction during the newscast is great. I'll be around this evening. And that's it for now. See you
Excellent.
guys. Thanks
Stay
for
cool,
joining
everyone.
us. Yes. Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.